and worked and continues to work. Reverend W.N. Reed, who will be receiving the Benjamin Hook Service Award. Let's give him a hand. Presented, of course, by the president of the NAACP, Mr. Stephen May.
Before Reverend Reed comes up, let me just say a few words about Ben Hooks. Ben Hooks was the leader for several years of the NAACP. Ben Hooks got a whole lot of things done. He was quiet, unassuming, but behind the scenes, he really made it happen. He took the NAACP to great levels. So has Reverend Reed. Since Reverend Reed has came here in 1973 to New Mount Moriah, he has done so many great things in his community. Amen. Not just this year, but in previous years. This is long overdue, folks. New Mount Moriah is this year's leader for the church trophy, but they were last year's leader of the church trophy. Now, I'm not going to take that away from the rest of our churches, but my good friend Willie Watkins does a lot of work for the branch. He's able to do that work because of the leadership of Reverend Reed. Reverend Reed is a very special man to NAACP, very special to this community, a true leader in the sense of the word of freedom fighting. Reverend Reed, please come and accept this award, our most prestigious award in NAACP.
President, thank you. So that I won't be like Pastor Jackson, my wife is back there. It's Rosetta Reed. One of my sons is right here, Jose, and Reverend Carlos back there. And all of New Mount Moriah, please stand. I feel humbled by being selected for such a prestigious award, primarily because
the ministry and everything that he stands for. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Emerson School of Performing Arts, are we ready? We're ready. Thank you, Director. Ladies and gentlemen, as we've been promising you, and we're honoring all of the winners tonight, all of the winners that have received a prestigious award from the NAACP Gary chapter. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Gary's own Worth Emerson School of Performing Arts, where performance goes into power, poignancy, and definitely prominence. Let's give them a hand.
How to be brave, how can I love
Amen. Let's give Superintendent Cheryl Pruitt a hand. The Director of Dancing for the Wirt Emerson School of Performing Arts. All the teachers at that wonderful school. I've been to that school many times to take a tour and to see the dance instructors, and I've never seen. We would like to bring to the stage David Castellanos, because it's a lot of awards that he has to give out. So we are going to welcome the NAACP Service Award, NAACP Image Award, the award to the church with the most freedom fighters, and acknowledgement. Even the awards are excited about being given away. So they're over here falling down, but we're going to pick them up. You know, you may fall down and you'll get back up again. All right, let's turn it over to Mr. David Castellanos.
Thank you, Darryl King. Thank you for that fine introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, it is truly an honor to be here tonight, especially as I look out upon this great and fantastic looking audience. I mean, really, you should really look at yourself from here. I mean, let's take Billy Crystal's old cliche. You look marvelous tonight. So everything. So matter of fact, everybody look at each other and tell each other, hey, you look marvelous tonight. Go ahead. There you go. You do. You look marvelous. Right. Good. You look marvelous tonight. Good. Well, tonight I have a distinct pleasure, and I do have an honor to present this specific award to a man who's been in this community for, I don't know, way longer than I have been. I've only been here for about 22 years. But anyway, I want to present it to a gentleman, a priest of St. Monica St. Luke's Church, a gentleman who served for 25 years in the NAACP, also has 12 years as a treasurer for the Gary Branch NAACP. A true leader, a true religious leader, a true active person, true committed person. I'd like to present to Father Patrick J. Gaza of St. Monica St. Luke's Church. Father, would you come up? Thank you.
Thank you. Like Reverend Reed, like Reverend Jackson, we're just doing God's work. My wife was not able to come tonight. And I have no children to speak of. But thank you, and I would like to continue serving as I can. People ask what I'm going to do after I retire. I'm just going to be a priest, serving God's people. God bless. Thank you.
Now, the next awardee is going to be a real winner. You're going to really like this one. This one is going to be presented to the Woman of the Year of the NAACP. The Image Award that we want to bestow on a true community leader. You probably all know her. You know her name. You've probably seen her working in the community for years. She's a real community developer. I don't know. I can't even find the words to say for her, except for the fact I say that she's just marvelous. That's it. You know. But today, I'm really proud. And I got a chance to meet Denise and know her, what she's done in the community. And by the way, I gave out her name. But anyway, the most important thing is that she is a true model. She's a true image for the young women of our community. She's also the chairman of our AXO for the NAACP. So, ladies and gentlemen, with much ado, let me bring up to the stage the greatest, Miss Denise Dillard Vice President of Methodist Hospital. Thank you.
A phenomenal woman.
Oh my goodness. You know, this is fantastic. Steve called me and said, you know, we were so happy when we heard that you had received the Community Leadership Award with Influential Women for Northwest Indiana. And, you know, we're going to just talk a little bit about that tonight. And I said, well, why? But, oh, well, okay. So needless to say, I am stunned that this had nothing to do with that. But this is truly NAACP's acknowledgement of just a lot of wonderful, spirited work in a community that I am passionate about. Very emotional. I will be short, but I must say this. I agree with everything that everyone has already said. Your foundation is everything. To the youth here, I am a Gary School Corporation graduate. All right? Okay. And no one ever told me what I couldn't be. No one. My parents said if someone tells you no, walk away from them and say, I got better things to do. Keep moving on. Don't ever let anyone define who you are. Don't let anyone tell you you're not good enough. Never. And never let someone put your city or your region down and therefore you're not capable. Do not let that happen. Because we are good. We are as good as we prepare ourselves to be. And it is not without God's purpose do we flourish. I once heard that there was an anonymous statement about it is good to be blessed, but look at the blessings that you can be for someone else. I hold on to that and say to my parents, I thank you. I thank you. When my dad was recently talking to Dr. Cheryl Pruitt, talking about my cornrows when I came back to Gary in the 70s. And nobody was wearing cornrows. I thank my mother, my sister, my sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha. I thank you. I thank you. I thank my workforce development children and JAG. You are fantastic. You are fantastic. My Methodist Hospital family, I thank you for an opportunity of not being trained in health care, but not being ignored in a community that has done nothing but given me love and embraced it. Thank you very much. God bless you. Major, you know, he has worn a tux more than he ever wanted to wear one, I'm telling you. But, you know, one thing about a marriage that has lasted behind good and bad, hard times, better times, you see a lot of things happen. You have that person who sticks with you in spite of. I'm a hard person to live with, and I know that. You know, so I thank you for the continuous support. And again, thank you and God bless.
Thank you, Denise. Those are very nice and kind words. Of course, I was just given a note to say that if somebody calls out for the AKAs, I have to make an announcement for the Omegas. So if Omega's in the house, hello, how you doing? And the Kappas, how are you doing? And the Alpha chapter, how are you doing? And the Deltas, how are you doing? Welcome in the house. And all the other non-Greeks, thank you for coming anyway, all right? Good. Good. This next award goes to a hard worker, a gentleman from boots to strap. You all know him, but he's given an award this is an award that's given to a church award for the year for for the most membership that he has gotten for the NAACP. Ladies and gentlemen, may I announce the gentleman, Willie Watkins. Will Willie Watkins please come to the stand? Thank you. Willie Watkins is also from Mount Moriah's church, so we have to give a shout out to them. Thank you. Willie. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, give him a nice hand of applause as he walks to the stage. He's been walking long and hard getting membership for the NAACP.
I want to thank the NAACP for this award. As was said, we have to keep fighting and we have to keep getting membership. And I encourage everyone individually and collectively to try to become a member and get memberships for the NAACP, because it is a fight that we can win. And I want to thank the NAACP for this award. Thank you from my heart.
You know, Mr. Watkins has this year alone signed up 47 members to the NAACP. Let's give him another hand. I am so proud of the Gary branch. We have signed up over 175 members this year. And that's a lot of people. And I plan on signing up 100 tonight. So keep your checkbooks close.
Wasn't that awesome and wonderful when we can recognize and celebrate people in our community? Give them awards. Say, yes, you are doing a wonderful job. Say, yes, you are important. You are beautiful. You are smart. You are brilliant. You are anointed. You are appointed. We've got to learn how to love more and hug more. Live more and give more. Compliment instead of criticize. Beautify instead of banter. And praise instead of problems. And remember, if you're not part of the solution, you are definitely a part of the problem. So let's all become solution agents. Let's become agents of change. Let's become people who make a difference in the world to better the world, to improve the lifestyle of our young people, to stop violence, to stop hurt. And just remember, ladies and gentlemen, hurting people hurt people. And a lot of our young people are hurting. They don't know where to turn. Their mothers and fathers have let them down. Maybe their family is a family of a drug abuse victim, an alcoholic person, or maybe some type of sexual molestation. It has been proven that right now in the Chicagoland community, the largest number of the segment of population right now with HIV and AIDS is black boys. We have got to do something to stop the cycle of violence, the cycle of self-hatred, the cycle of I don't love myself anymore. So we all need to band together and remember the fight ain't over. We got to keep on fighting, keep on believing. So ladies and gentlemen, we are so excited about the Roy Wilkins Award presented to Dr. Michael Pfleger, Father Pfleger, TV star, the man who drives a fast car, a singer, a writer, a dancer, a preacher, a teacher, and a reacher. Y'all put your hands together. Oh, you're not going to present the award now, Steve? Excuse me, I must have a sidebar. Excuse me, 1 second. Well, we'll bring up the Honorable Karen Freeman Wilson, Esquire, lawyer, judge, mother, sister, friend, and a woman who lives to the end. Put your hands together for the first female mayor of Gary, Indiana, Mayor Karen Freeman Wilson. A member of Delta Sigma Theta. Well, we'll bring up the Honorable Karen Freeman Wilson, Esquire, lawyer, judge, mother, sister, friend, and a woman who lives to the end. Put your hands together for the first female mayor of Gary, Indiana, Mayor Karen Freeman Wilson. A member of Delta Sigma Theta. All right, watch yourself, watch yourself.
She even has sound effects this time. Amazing. You know, one of the great privileges of being mayor is that sometimes you get to sit up front, and sometimes you have an opportunity even to sit on the dais. Now, I'll tell you, when you're trying to sneak out of places, that's not always a good thing, but fortunately, that's not the case tonight. And I have had the absolute treat of sitting between two great men of God, Reverend W.N. Reed on my left and our keynote speaker on our right. And having spent the evening talking to Father Pfleger, I am very hopeful that now I can call him Father Mike. I will tell you that I have been a long-time fan of his ministry. Amen. From his advocacy on behalf of sex workers to his stand against those who prey on our community, whether it is through advertisement or through the sales that occur in gas stations, to his work against violence in the community and in the streets. I've been a fan of Michael Pfleger's work because he understands that if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything, in the words of Dr. King. About 8 years ago, probably more like 10 years ago, and I know that many of you go over to this service, Father Pfleger was a regular in the 7 Last Words in Trinity in Chicago with Dr. Wright. And we were sitting, and I had taken Jordan, and at the time she was 8, to this particular service. And he was giving a pretty graphic description of cow manure. And he was doing it in the context of his dissatisfaction with the Bush administration. So during the course of this rant, and it was a rant, Jordan pulled my arm and said, "Are you sure he's a minister?" And I said, "Yes. Sometimes you have to communicate with people in the way that they understand." And so for those who are easy to communicate with, he uses the eloquence of Dr. King. And for those who need a little more elementary explanation, he uses the eloquence of your favorite elementary school teacher. For those who understand the biblical explanations, he uses the language of a country preacher. And for those who are a little hard-headed, he uses the words of Aunt Sue or Uncle Lenny or whoever your aunt or uncle is that used to curse you out. But he does not just talk the talk, he walks the walk. And so it is my great privilege and honor to introduce to you the father from Chicago, Father Mike, who is commonly known as Father Mike, but who is formally known as the Father Dr. Michael Flager.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Thank you, Mayor. And can I just say what an honor it is to meet you. And I am so excited about what's in store for Gary with your leadership here in Gary, Indiana. I am so excited to have somebody who went to Harvard and decided they were going to come back home and use their gifts and their talent and their skills for here. So thank you, Mayor, for your leadership and for your job you're doing here in Gary, Indiana. Thank you, President Mays, to John Jackson, my buddy and my friend, and to all those in the and Daryl, you know you are crazy. I love you. And I also want to mention right from the beginning that my wife also could not come tonight. And I begged her, but she insisted on staying. It was either being with me or the dog, and she decided to be with the dog. But thank you. Really, everybody that's been up here has said everything that needs to be said, but I'm just going to try to mention some of the things that are very concerned to me as we talk about game changers. In the Gospel of Luke, the 7th chapter, Jesus Christ is walking along the road, and approaching him is a mother bearing her son. Most people, it's tradition of that day, would move to the side of the road or would turn their backs to the funeral procession. Jesus, however, did not ignore it, deny it, turn away from it, or close his eyes to it. Rather, the scriptures tell us in Luke, the 7th chapter, that Jesus interrupted the funeral procession. He interrupted it and rose the young man from the dead and gave the young man life. He decided to change the game from death to life. He did that every place he went. Whether it was a woman being stoned, whether it was a blind man laying on the side of the road, whether it was a woman at a well, no matter where Jesus went, he changed the game. And I use that scripture because I believe that is what is most needed in America today is game changers. I am sick and tired of people who are trying to fit in a broken society. I'm sick and tired of people that want to just be part of the status quo and just be part of the business as usual. In case you haven't noticed, business as usual is not working in America. It's broken America. We sit here at this dinner at the NAACP and realize that when Dr. Martin Luther King was murdered in 1968, getting ready for a poor people's campaign, there are more poor people in America in 2013 than there was in 1968. That's a disgrace to America. And I sometimes wonder, like Bernice, his daughter, said to me years ago, she said, Mike, I wonder sometimes if my father's life was in vain. The reality is we need some game changers. We're going to make the decision, I'm not going to fit in. In fact, I'm come from a church, you know. Look at the person on either side of you right now and say, I refuse to fit in. We need some game changers. Game changers who are rooted in faith, have tenacity and have commitment. The kind of folk that are going to roll up their sleeves for the long term and say, I ain't going nowhere. Game changers who understand that we haven't done a very good job at our call to change society. I look at our young people there, and our young people brought up these scholarships and getting ready to go to college. I told my church a week ago, last Sunday, we had our kindergarten graduation on Saturday. And I was there watching all these beautiful young kindergartner children and watching them graduate and watching their dreams, their eyes, their excitement, and their passion, looking at the world with all this possibility. And I left that graduation and I went down to Lake Michigan by the lakefront, and I walked for 2 hours and I wept. And I wept and I cried because I realized these young babies, these beautiful young children full of gift and talent and potential, we're walking into a world that we've given them that could kill them before they even get to high school. And I wept and I was angry at the status quo of which we find ourselves. If we are going to be game changers, we're going to have to decide again to wake up and to rise up and to make the world nervous because you got up another day. I tell our young people all the time, wherever you go, when I go to Howard University each year, I tell them, when you enter the workplace, school place, or the church place, business as usual ought to get nervous when you walk in the room. The devil ought to get nervous when you wake up in the morning because you're going to put him back to the hell he came from. We are going to have to become a voice of conscience again. A voice of conscience to a world that has lost its conscience. We're going to have to decide we're going to have the courage to not just medicate the problem, not just band-aid the problem, but go to the root of the problem that is killing our future in America. Let me just mention a few things we're going to have to change the game at. We're going to have to change the game on, as mentioned here all evening long, on education. It is a shame and a scandal in America under Democrats and under Republicans that public education is still what it is in this country. How dare us be satisfied that there are children that still cannot read or reach their dreams or their goals or their ideals? We talk about abortion that goes on in a clinic. I believe that if every person has a God-given purpose and destiny, anything that keeps them from reaching their destiny is abortion. And we're aborting children in education. We're aborting in corporate America. We're aborting in government. We're aborting every day across our country. And we got to stop the abortion. Education in this country is embarrassing. Education brings options. We can't keep condemning our children on the street when we fail them in the classroom. Something's wrong that we are building first-rate prison and third and second-rate educational schools for our children. Because we'd rather jail them and privatize our prison and make money off them. And now in rural America, we're raising our children instead of wheat and grain. We must be a game changer and draw the line. Say, we're not accepting better than last year. We're not going to sit down and be quiet until every single child has the education of excellence that they deserve. They get mad at me in Chicago because the teachers union said, we want you to stand with you in the Board of Ed. So I ain't standing with neither of you. I'm going to stand with the children. Because I don't care if it's public education, charter, private, parochial, or homeschooling. You better give our child the best education they deserve. And anybody, if it's Catholic, if it's parochial, if it's public, if it's charter, if it ain't good, then shut it down and run them out of the city because our children deserve to learn. We've got to change the game of double-digit unemployment. I don't get excited when I hear that unemployment in America is down. Well, what America are you living in? It's not down in the south side of Chicago, and I believe it's not down here in Gary. So don't tell me about 7 point whatever then, when where I live is 22%. Until it's 7% and 6% and 5% in my neighborhood, I don't care what it is downtown Chicago. I don't care what it is in the East Coast. We've got to give people an opportunity to work. And I'm tired of driving up and down Chicago and seeing all the destruction going on and no black and brown people on the construction site. Shut that stuff down. Shut it down. Get out there, walk out there, sit out there, and shut it down. Because if you ain't going to hire black people in a black community, where the hell are you going to hire them? We need game changers. Excuse me, you said you want to pass it, but I'm passionate, and I'm mad as hell. We need game changers. We decide we got to give our children some opportunities. Can't just keep telling them what to say no to, but give them something to say yes to. I talked to a group of brothers who we would demonize as gangbangers about a week ago when I was a group of them. We were talking. This brother turned to me and he said, Brother Mike, let me tell you something, man. He said, everybody tells us what we can't do, and they're talking about how all these people are shooting and they have no value for life. He said, tell me how I value my neighborhood. My neighborhood is full of abandoned buildings and empty lots and no jobs and nobody working. And you want me to have respect for my neighborhood. Give me a neighborhood I can respect. He said, that and give me a possibility for a future. He said, for a while, all of us kids, we all wanted to be NBA players. And everybody kept telling us, 1 in a million become an NBA player. Stop just focusing on NBA. They told me to go to school, but school didn't teach me nothing, and they put me out. And then when I tried to get back in, they told me I couldn't get back in. He said, and then we were all going to be rappers. But he said, they tell the same thing, there's only a certain amount to get up there and really make that kind of money. I ain't Kanye. He said, but let me tell you something. Every kid out here can be a shooter.
That's right. Come on.
You don't need education.
Make it plain.
You don't need a job, so you get street credibility. Because he said, one thing America did to us, they taught us all to grow up and want to be somebody. But you've closed all the doors to have me really be a somebody. So now on the street, I'm making myself somebody. You put the drive in me, close the doors from taking care of that drive, and you wonder why there's people on the street shouting for street credibility, because this is the only thing I can do without an education or a job. We've done that to our children. We've got to be a game changer. When it comes to economic development, whether it's in Gary, whether it's in Chicago, South Side, West Side, Lawndale, Inglewood, you understand that our communities need economic engines again. They need to be point of destinations where people can come in and spend tax dollars and create thriving communities. People yelling about TIF money. You ain't got no TIF money if you ain't got no jobs. No business, no development. We're up and down our neighborhood. We started a thing some years ago saying we don't want any more liquor stores, any more beauty shops. Because after you look good and drunk, you still ain't got a job. I'm just saying. So they got mad at us and said, well, what? So we started to go to all the liquor stores and started to see how many of those liquor stores hired people from the community. Did nobody in those liquor stores live in the community, or most of them didn't even hire from the community. So we said, why should the community come into these stores? Shut them down, close them up, send them out, boycott them. Don't come in here and pimp a community that's been pimped by the whole world. We got to have some economic development, and we've got to put some pressure on corporations around this country to say, don't just come into downtown Chicago and Michigan Avenue. Come down to Englewood and Auburn Gresham. Come to Gary, come to Philly, come to South Central, come to Newark, come to all over our communities. And we've got to learn. Like we told them, and I probably hurt somebody's feelings here now, I told Red Lobster. I said, y'all won't come in the city, but every time I go in Red Lobster, everybody in Red Lobster is from the south side of Chicago. So guess what? If you won't come into the city, we ain't coming out to the suburb to make you wealthy, Darden. We've got to stop spending our money in places that really don't care about our neighborhoods, our children, or our future. We've got to stop giving our money to people that do not respect us. We are paying for abuse. And we got to stop it. We've got to be a game changer when it comes to, as was mentioned up here, mass incarceration. We just had a senator in Illinois talk about his new move for violence is to lock up 18,000 gangster disciples. Really? Well, lock up your kids first. Going to lock up 18,000. We've been doing that, in case you don't know, Senator Kirk, and I love you, I respect you. You've come a long way, you've had some major challenges, God bless you, but now you're crazy. Michelle Alexander had it right, it's the new Jim Crow. We got to understand that when our brothers or sisters are coming out, first of all, if 67 to 70% of drug users in America, the government says, are Caucasian, then why are 90% of those locked up African American and Hispanic? Is anybody find a problem with that picture? And then we put them in jail and then had them come out. They can get no tuition assistance. Many places they can't vote. They can't get a job. They can't get housing assistance. Can't get a link card. So we put you back out in the street, taking everything from you, give you no support, no wraparound, no help, and then tell you don't come back. Well, where is he supposed to go? And as I told some of the brothers in the south side of Chicago, stop waiting for government to help you. If they didn't like you before you had a record, what do you think they're going to do for you now? We got to stop locking up our children and have them making rural America rich. And now see gun industries investing in the privatizing of prisons. So we're going to feed you guns to shoot and kill, and then make money off the gun and make money off of you in jail. We've got to stop this train wreck of mass incarceration in America. Give somebody some options instead of a prison cell and a record that goes with them for the rest of their life. We have got to be game changers when it comes to our homes, our blocks, and our neighborhoods. I understand the system of government. I understand the hidden hand that has in place to try to keep our children locked in and shackled in. I understand that, but we can't play into it. We have lost the value of home and family and block. We've lost that. We have more technology than ever in human history. We text, we tweet, we email, we Facebook, we Instagram, we do all this crazy stuff. Yet we've lost the value of talking to one another face to face. We've lost each other's presence. So we sit in cars and text somebody else. We sit at tables and text somebody else. Put it down and talk to the person sitting next to you. That lives with your mama, your daddy, your son, your daughter, your uncle, your auntie, your neighbor. And we got to stop just condemning parents, talking about she ain't a good mother, he ain't a good daddy. Instead of condemning them, why don't you offer to help them? We used to have a time when we didn't have Dr. Phil and Dr. whoever and Oz and all the rest of these fools. We didn't have parenting classes. Parenting classes happened taking the garbage out. Parenting classes happen on the front porch. Parenting classes happen while you're standing in line at the grocery store. Parenting happens when you were talking to your neighbors on your block. Parenting classes when we shared our story and our history with one another. We don't need to be professionals to help us. We just need to be human again. We need to be neighbors again. We need to be family again. We need to be brothers and sisters again. Dr. King told us either we're going to be brothers and sisters or we're going to perish together as fools. We don't need government to be the ones that step in and tell us how to be a neighborhood. Right. In Chicago, and I don't know if you have it in here, Gary, Mayor, everybody wants blue lights. Because the blue light's supposed to help you with crime. Really? First of all, ain't nobody watching them. Second of all, I don't even think they work. But the red lights work. I got a lot of tickets to prove they work. But Miss Boyd was my blue light. She knew everything going on in the block and talked to everybody on the block. You don't need a camera on a corner. You need a neighbor who knows how to be involved and engaged in their community. We had a block where there was a lot of drug dealing going on. And they called me up and said, will you come over and help us in our block? I said, my policy is always, you get at least 60% of the block there, I'll come. I went over to that block, and we were talking about all the problems when the name time drug dealing was going on and all the rest. I said, okay. I said, tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock, who's going to meet me out here on the block in some chairs at the spot where the drug dealing is going on? Come on, Mike. They looked at me like I was on crack. One old lady, about 77, said, I'm with you, Pastor. Said, good. Another lady, 81, said, I'm with you. Good. Another lady, about 72, said, I'm with you. I said, okay, to hell with the rest of y'all. Go on home. I got what I need. These 3 seniors and myself came out there the next night, brought out our chairs, sat there. I said, all you need is 2 things, a pencil and a paper. That's right. They looked at me and said, pencil and paper. I said, yeah. So we got out to the spot. I said, now, everybody that comes up, everybody drives up, take down description of the car, get the license plate, get the name of what the person's wearing, get everything, write everything down you see. So I said, come on, we got to work right now. They come in, we start working. They sit down. This one lady looked at me. She called me over. She says, Brother Mike, I didn't bring my glasses with me. I can't see nothing. I said, they don't know you didn't bring your glasses with. Just start writing. Write the Lord's Prayer. Write whatever you know. The Lord is my shepherd. There's nothing. Write whatever you want to write. Start writing. That lady got so bold. She not only started writing, she said to one of the young man, will you move aside so I can see that license plate? The drug dealing in that block stopped that day from 3 senior citizens that had enough guts and courage and tenacity to say they were going to take back their block. They didn't need a police officer. They didn't need the city. They just needed to have authority again. We got to understand that our blocks are our blocks. That's right. And the children on that block, that's our children. Yeah. We've got to be a game changer in our house, in our block, and in our neighborhood. We've got to be a game changers when it comes to racism and sexism and genderism and classism in this country. There are some people that are obviously on crack cocaine that think that we're in a post-racial period. I believe that in 2008, when Barack Obama became president, that white supremacy got a new second wind. I believe racism, it may not be on signs on drinking fountains or movie theaters or lunch counters, but it's as real and as alive and as strong today as it ever was in America. And it's done with smiling faces and stabbings in the back, and stops the promotions and stops the moving up and stops the right salary. It's done all over the place every day, and it's time for us to take it on. I am and always will be, whenever I think Barack Obama has not done something well, he is the President of the United States, and I will confront him and I will challenge him when people say, well, you got to leave him alone. Well, no, he's the President. And everybody said, wait till second term. Well, hey, it's second time. But let me tell you one thing. I'm tired of the disrespect that's going on against President Obama and First Lady Michelle and the children. We should not allow that to continue. No president has been more disrespected than this president. And we must let them know, if you try to create an atmosphere for some harm to come to this family, if any harm comes to this family, you will see riots in America you have never seen before. Do not touch this man or his family. We must challenge and be the game changers. Give me a few more minutes. I've already lost about half of you. I understand that. We must be a game changer in the entertainment world. The entertainment world that is glorifying violence and degrading women each and every day. How are we allowing our children, number one, to listen and buy this stuff? How are we allowing it as adults? And how are we allowing our stores in our neighborhood to sell it? How do we allow a Rick Ross to get up and talk about date rape like it's something cool? No, it ain't cool, especially if it's your daughter or your sister or your mother. How do we allow Lil Wayne to get up and make a mockery of Emmett Till? But we went after Lil Wayne. And then after him, to understand that Lil Wayne lost Pepsi's endorsement. See, that's where we got to hit, folks. That's what we've been doing is about all these years. Go after the people who are paying them. Don't go after the person because they're getting paid. Go after the person that's giving them the money and understand you can't continue to give money and support this. That's why we got to go after the Interscope and Verizon and all these companies that are paying money to our young people. Look what they did to Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne got pimped and he's pimping them. And Lil Wayne got $1 million contract. And as I told him, then you got in a car and drove up to Northbrook, an all-white suburb, and live in a gated community talking about what's happening in Englewood. You a punk. You a Chief Keef, I'm sorry, Chief Keef. Chief Keef ain't nothing but a punk. If you want to talk about it, come live with me on 79th Street. Come down here where it is. Don't hide up in Northbrook in some white community with some gate at your fence and have people drive you around at 110 miles an hour in the suburb. Come on back, brother, to 79th Street and let me see how really tough you are. Oh, our kids live in the Chief Keef. And let me tell you what Chief Keef, the contract Interscope did with him. They took a contract on him, $1 million. And they said, if you die, we're also taking an insurance policy out on you, so we get the money, not your family. Interscope gets paid. Understand, if you keep making the music, we'll keep paying you. If the record sales are good. But if you go to jail, contract broken. Because we can't make money off of you in jail. So if he lives and makes the garbage, they get paid. If he dies and goes to a cemetery, they get paid. If he gets locked up, ain't no contract for you. How silly are we to allow these white corporate companies to come in and pimp our children because we have not given them the right money and right opportunity to raise up with real talent, so they're doing garbage on the street. We've got to hit social media. And we've got to be able to be game changers in what we allow in our social media, and understand that Facebook and YouTube got to put some restrictions and some standards, because a lot of gang stuff that's going on comes right from Facebook and from YouTube, where threats have been made. We have to be game changers when it's poverty, and I mentioned this earlier with Dr. King. But there's something wrong, as Dr. King said, with a country that creates beggars. Something's wrong when I go down each week underneath Wacker and see all these brothers and sisters sleeping under viaducts, laying under Lower Wacker Drive, where upstairs there's $1 million condos and downstairs there's people living, eating out of garbage cans. And there's something wrong with the fact if we ignore them, because society has told the poor that you are a burden and you are disposable. A young homeless man said to me, Father Mike, when I'm coming trying to get some money to eat, going down by the cars at the stoplight, I don't care if people look at me and say I ain't got nothing. I don't care if they say God bless me. I'm not going to help you. I don't care at all. What bothers me is when they see me coming and suddenly they turn and talk to the empty seat next to them to ignore me.
Lord have mercy.
I don't care if you can't help me, he said. But just don't make me feel invisible.
Right.
We have to stop making the poor feel invisible. Doesn't mean you have to give everybody you see money, but at least give them your time, your smile, your attention, and let them know that you see them as a human being, and get outraged that we are in a country that allows human beings to live in the streets. We have to break the game change of government in this country. And what I mean by that is our government is dysfunctional. In case you have not noticed, Congress is dysfunctional. And now there's a big uproar about going after the Tea Party. Bro, go after them as much as you want. Put those people out of business as far as I'm concerned. Because there are a group of people in this country who would rather see America go down than President Obama to succeed. They are the anti-Americans. They are the folks that hate America and sing God bless America while they do everything to be an obstruction in the possibility. And we saw what they just did about guns in this country. I'm ashamed to be an American citizen who see our babies dying around this country and turn their backs on them. And let me also say this, we didn't care about violence. About 508 children in 6 years were murdered in Chicago. We didn't care about till 20 white babies got killed in Newtown. Oh, y'all got quiet now. What happened in Newtown was horrific. But it is also equally horrific when children are being shot and killed, whether it's in Newark or Oakland or Gary or Chicago or Philly or South Central or Dallas, any place a child died. How dare you say white life is more invaluable than black life in America? We won't stand for that. You get outraged when a black child dies too, when a brown child dies too. Violence has been ignored in America. And we must be willing to stand up and say we're not going to tolerate it anymore. There's an election coming up, and everybody that voted against simple stuff, registration of guns, really? Assault weapons and 30 and 40 and 50 magazine calibers? We can't even do that. But as somebody told me in Washington, because I think what happened at Congresswoman Gabby Gifford or what happened in Newtown or what happened in a theater in Aurora, Colorado were just flukes. They said that about drugs, remember? And then drugs got into the homes of congresswomen and senators and politicians and the wealthy. And all of a sudden, all America concerned about drugs. Will you have to wait till your children, blood runs down the streets like our children does? Is that what it's going to take, really, for your child to be murdered? In order for you to do something about the violence of America, we must not be still. We must interrupt the world and be game changers when it comes to churches. And I'm so glad to see these pastors here tonight, to see Pastor Reed and Pastor Jackson, folks that are doing something. Because let me tell you something. I'm tired of churches who have become part of corporate America.
Come on now.
I'm tired of churches that are part of the problem. I'm tired of churches that all they worry about is their building fund, but their next spaghetti dinner and their chicken fry, and out of the next thing they're going to do in their fish fry to have what's going to happen there. Why don't you worry about what's going on outside of your community, outside of your door, outside of your church services? Because what makes us credible to God is not what we do on Sunday. It's when we leave Sunday and how we turn the world upside down Monday through Saturday of the week. That's what makes us credible with Jesus Christ. Jesus never had a church. And if you want to talk about mega churches, Ebenezer was not a mega church. Dexter Avenue is not a mega church. Let's stop worrying about mega churches and let's worry about mega impact. Let's change the lives of our people. I could go on and on because we got so many problems to deal with. And that's why NAACP is so important. And let me say this about NAACP and about churches and about every organization out here. We have to somehow reconnect the Moses and the Joshua generation. Because we have allowed to create as part of the divisions of America to say to Moses, sit down, we don't need you anymore. Or tell the Joshuas, just pull your pants up and sit down and be quiet and we'll tell you what to do. No. We need the wisdom and experience of the Moses. And we need the unrestlessness and we need the unsettledness and we need the energy of the Joshua and we need to bring them together. Do not let this world divide the elders and the youth because together they realize the power source they are. We need to have elders and youth bonded together in the fight for justice. We have to be game changers. Game changers who understand that our reason to get up every day is not to make money. Making money, and I don't know. And we need the energy of the Joshua and we need to bring them together. Do not let this world divide the elders and the youth because together they realize the power source they are. We need to have elders and youth bonded together in the fight for justice. We have to be game changers. Game changers who understand that our reason to get up every day is not to make money. Making money, and I don't know a whole lot about it. Because I counsel a lot of people who have made a lot of money, it's overrated. We have to be game changers to understand my purpose here is not to fit in and to cause our children to climb a ladder and fit in. I tell young people all the time, all the young people in this room, high school or college age, if they're in here, stand up, would you please? I know we got some because you got some money. Let me just say something to y'all, because y'all are graduating, going on to colleges, and you're the best and the brightest that we have. You are the very best of our hope and our future and our dreams. But understand, because you are our best, the system will come after you to seduce you. They will come to pull you in and tell you, come on, brother, come on, sister, we're going to give you an office on the corner. We're going to give you a nice nameplate on your door. We're going to give you a nice staff. They never mention about giving you power. They never give you about boardroom power. But they'll come in and make you the enforcers of their evilness. Do not allow corporate America to seduce you to come in and become the enforcers who abandon your people and end up being the enforcers of a government that is full of evilness. But understand that if you're going to get in that corporation, you go in it for one reason, to change it and turn it upside down. Understand your greatest force you have is your community, not your paycheck. Where you came from is what made you who you are. Don't lose it in a job. Don't lose it in a corporate America. Don't lose it in a business. Let them know from the day you walk in, you're getting more than just a black faith. You're getting a born-again spirit. You're getting a righteous indignation. You're getting a person who's angry with the status quo. You're getting a person who's angry with business as usual. I come here to turn this mother upside down. Please, young people. If they think you came in to just continue it, look at them, look at the chairman of the board and say, silly rabbit, you should not have hired me. Thank you, thank you. But understand this, and I'm finished. If we are not game changers, we're players of the game. If we're not game changers, we're continuing the crises and the evilness of bad education, no jobs, incarceration, poverty, racism, sexism. We are continuing it or we are changing it. I say all the time in my church, see Brenda over there, one of my members, I say all the time, the devil don't care if we come to church.
That's right.
As long as we don't do anything when we leave church. The only reason we come to church is to go through the boot camp of being empowered, enlightened, encouraged, and activated to go out and become like this woman in the Bible. They call her Mary of Bethany. She came into a room of 12 preachers, break open her alabaster jar, and it says, change the atmosphere. That's our job. Whether you read the Quran, the Torah, or the Bible, whether you are a Muslim or you are a Christian or you are Jewish, understand all three holy books tell us our job is to change the world. The early disciples all were murdered and killed except John, who on an island of Patmos had been used by the Lord. Every one of them were killed. For what they did is a revolution in the land in the name of Jesus. Our job is to start a revolution. Our job is not to play the game, but change the game. That will be costly. If we're going to be good pastors, good mayor, good president of the organization, good fathers, good mothers, good people at your job, if we're going to really be the people God called us to be, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you the willingness to maybe not get the promotion, maybe not get the raise, maybe not get reelected. But we have a minute here in this earth. Do we want to stand before the Master and have Him pleased? Or have some people that are passing by in a quick second going, it ain't about that. Stop reading the books, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Stop reading the books, I'm okay, you're okay. Have the courage, as Ellen Bosak of South Africa said, that when we stand before God, He'll say, where are your wounds? And too many of us will say, I have no wounds. And they'll say, was there nothing worth fighting for? Was there nothing worth dying for? Was there nothing worth struggling for? I don't pray you have great jobs. I pray you have great wounds. I don't pray you have great promotion and great houses and great cars. I pray you have great wounds from fighting for what's right. In the book, Sanctuary, by, I think, James Allen, about the lynchings, and somebody mentioned that earlier and talked about the strange fruit the mayor talked about. When I watched that book and read that book and looked through it, I cry with the brothers and sisters and children hanging from trees. And I went back through it time after time after time, and I realized what was really making me cry was not the brother hanging in the tree, but the people gathered around watching the hanging in silence. Sisters and brothers, that's my worry today. We cannot go before God and say, I didn't hang him. God's going to say, were you sitting around watching? Well, people were lynched in jobs and education and poverty. Were you watching and didn't do anything? There was more than enough people there to stop the lynching. They may not have clapped, but they stood and watched in silence. We cannot be silent while lynching is going on in our face. Let me close saying this to you. Two quick things. I got two quick things. Because one is so relevant to NAACP. Some years ago, a number of years ago, Martin King asked me to come down to Montgomery and to speak to the anniversary of the March on Montgomery bus system, the Montgomery boycott. And I came in that room, and there was one table over there of all elders, and I said to Martin, and Danny Glover was there, and I said, who are they? He said, that's some of the original Montgomery Improvement Association. Those are the organizers of the march. And I went over to that table, and I got down on my knee next to one of the women at the table, and I said, ma'am, could you talk to me for just a minute? She said, son, come sit up at the table. I said, no, ma'am, I'm not worthy to sit next to you. But if I could just kneel here and you tell me why you did what you did. 381 days. And at the end of the time, the only win was going to be able to sit at a different place on the bus. He said, what made you do what you did? She said, son, every night I'd walk from my job back home, and from morning from the job, my home to the job, and I waited on this white family and the mother, and I cooked for the kids and took care of the kids, and the man never called me anything but the N-word. And she said, at night I'd walk back home, and some nights as the boycott continued, they get white teenagers to drive around the cars and try to make us intimidated to quit the boycott. So they yell at us and threaten us. So some nights it was very frightening not knowing if I was going to get home alive. She'd come home and care for her family. She said, then I'd sit in the chair and put my feet in a bucket and sleep in the chair with my feet in a bucket so the swelling would go down so I could put the shoes back on to walk in the morning to my job again. She said, I did it every single day and I never stopped. I said, what made you do it? She said, two things. My faith in God, that I believe justice is going to come. She said, the second reason, because it just was right. And I got so convicted, and I said, we no longer do things just because it's right. We want to know who's going to pay us, who's going to give us a grant, what are we going to get out of it, who's going to take care of us, who's going to give us a promotion, who's going to give us an appointment. The hell with what you get out of it. Do it because it is just right. It's time to do right stuff again for our children, for our elders, for our brothers and sisters. It's time to be right. From 9/11 to the hurricanes in Oklahoma, to the flooding in Texas, all over this country, we hear that the new heroes of America are called the first responders. Those police and fire that go into areas of unknown danger trying to save a life. And they are heroes and heroines. Well, sisters and brothers, I charge the NAACP, I charge every member of a church, a synagogue, or a mosque. Be our heroes again. Become the first responders. Go into unknown danger in your jobs, in your blocks, in your homes, in your community, in corporate America, in education system, in the prison system. Be the first responders. Because there's lives that need saving. And if they die, the blood is on our hands. God bless you.
Father Michael Flager, everybody. Father Michael Flager. My God, my God. His speech tonight, the poignant words of his message become game changers. Become people that become a change agent in this world, in America, in your community, on the west side of Gary, the south side of Gary, downtown Gary. Make a positive difference, make change. Let's give Father Michael Flager another hand. Powerful man of God. And not only does he talk the talk, but he walks the talk. He's always in the community, standing up. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want you to think about this. If Father Michael Flager can stand up for black boys, GDs, Crips, Bloods, four-corner hustlers, why can't you as a black person stand up and be counted and join organizations like the NAACP? It's time for us to stop playing and start praying. It's time for us to stop shaking and start baking. And as they said, you better check yourself before you wreck yourself. Our children are calling out to us each and every day. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, this man of God, Father Michael Flager, definitely deserves this award. The Roy Wilkins Award, presented to Reverend Dr. Michael Flager, which is well worth it and worth its weight in gold. Brought to you by the president of the Gary chapter of the NAACP, the empowering President Stephen Mays. Let's give them another hand.
The Roy Wilkins Award says it's all. A true game changer. A true game changer. Let's give another Gary welcome. Father Mike, thank you so much.
Now we'll have a call for membership for the NAACP Gary, Indiana chapter. We need for you to make donations, join the organization, or give them a car or an airplane. We need something going on here tonight. And I see a lot of people that are not only rich in love and in caring and compassion, but also your pocketbooks are overflowing. Amen. So we want to have a call for membership. Stephen, are you doing that? President Mays? Yes, he can. Let's give him another hand.
Thank you, Daryl. On all the tables tonight, there are membership applications. And we are in the business of changing the game. You can't play the game on the sidelines. Let's get off the bench. Come and help me. We have 9 standing committees. We have education, political action, criminal justice. We have a lot of committees. We want you to come out to the meetings. We want you to join and participate. Now's the time to do it. We need to change the game. So the membership committee is outside. They'll be taking your applications. If you filled your applications out, the committee will come around now and pick them up. And we also have a website. You can pay online. But we need our whole community active. A strong community together is strength in numbers. And that was proven when we were out in the court in the last trial. Now I want to acknowledge our life members. All the life members in the room, please stand up. All right, let's give them a hand. Thank you to my life members. I also want to acknowledge my administration and committee, and will all my officers stand up? Henry Bennett, Vice President, Linda Peterson, Second Vice President, Lloyd Fisher, Third Vice President, our Treasurer Kathy Kelly, Assistant Treasurer Leona Chandler, our Secretary Minnie Carter, our Assistant Secretary Robert George, and all the members of the Executive Committee. Just please stand up. Okay, with no further ado, I'm going to turn it back over to Gerald.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we definitely have to honor the former mayors of Gary, the outstanding man who was just a game changer in the early years of Gary, Indiana, Richard Gordon Hatcher. Mayor Richard Gordon Hatcher. Please let's give him a heartfelt welcome. That man is the original game changer. Stand up and wave your hand one more time, Mayor, so they'll see you. Former Mayor Richard Gordon Hatcher, amen. Also, who has been invited to attend the Medgar Evers commemorative service. That is quite an honor, Mayor. God bless you. Also, former Mayor Thomas V. Barnes is here. Would you stand up and be recognized? Where are you? Amen. Look at him, another original game changer. And also, Deputy Mayor Richard Comer is here. Would you please stand up and be recognized? Let's give that man a big high five. Amen. Also, Ellen Douglas, Vice President of the National Bar Association for lawyers, for African American lawyers. Let's give her a hand. Wave your hand, girl. You got all that money. Amen. Just looking rich back there. That's a beautiful thing. And we want to recognize all of the committee people, all of the people that volunteered, all of the people that helped President Mays and the Vice President. We just appreciate you. We love you, and you are very important. And may God continue to bless you and keep you. Thank you very much. Excuse me, I need a sidebar. Excuse me. We would like to acknowledge all of our life membership, the new life membership awarded to the 2013 Honor Guard of Life members. And we'd like to honor you now. Could you please stand, or would you like them to come on the stage? Please come on stage, the new life members. Please, and if we could do that quickly. All right, here we go. Phyllis Barlow. Oh, no. Andre Artis, MD. Betty J. Brooks. John Buncich. David Castellanos. Joe Van Mays. Michaela Mays. Robert Ordway. Mayor Karen Freeman Wilson, Esquire. Ruth Walker. And Jalaza Mays. Please come to the stage quickly so that you can receive your 2013 NAACP Life members. Let's give them all a hand, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, it gives me a lot of honor and privilege to present this first plaque, and this goes to my granddaughter, Michaela Mays. You know, it started when we were young, when my dad had me up here and I was a life member back when I was 10. Starts with our children when they're young. The next life membership goes to John Bunches, a Lake County Sheriff. Thank you, John. The next award goes to Robert Ordway, And this was really special. A lot of the things we do, we're able to do with a good partner. It's great to have a good friend, a good partner, and a great mayor, Mayor Cameron Freeman Wilson. Our co-chairman. And that's what it's really all about. Membership, commitment, and keeping the dream alive. As we move forward, I want to acknowledge the two people that really drove this event. But before I do that, I got to really talk about this one individual. When we were scrambling to put on our program this year, he stood up and stand out, and he really took the lead. He said, "Steve, I can make it happen." He sacrificed from his business and all of the things he was doing to step up for the NAACP. That's special. That's a real game changer. This last night's membership goes to David Constellanos, this year's event chairman. Let's give Santa and hands. Let's get up, y'all. This year's event chairman.
And may I make a suggestion? It was truly it was a labor of love. Thank you.
Okay, I want to thank everyone tonight, and I really want to thank my committee again. I want to thank the Gary Public School Corporation, all of the sponsors, all of the corporations, all of the churches. First Baptist Church is celebrating the 105th year anniversary. That's very special to First Baptist. And all the other churches in the house. And thank you to our community for our continued support. We appreciate you. And now we will go ahead and conclude our program with the We Shall Overcome. Will the Westside High Choir, are they going to come up and lead us in the We Shall Overcome? Well, I'll have Barbara Bolin lead us. All right, everybody, on your feet.
Shall we stand? And as you're standing, the reason I volunteered to do this is because I have to acknowledge my fiance, Terrence Williams. Okay. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday.
Deep in my heart.
Oh, deep in my heart.
I do believe.
I do believe.
We shall overcome.
We shall overcome someday. Walk hand in hand. Hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. God is on our side. God is on our side. God is on our side. God is on our side today.
God bless you. Good night. God bless you. And music will be continuous with Lock, Stock, and Barrel. And now we'll have the benediction from Colonel Reverend Dr. Daggett.
As we take a moment, can we have quiet for our benediction, please? Truly, we have been in the midst of a beautiful time. God has called us out to stand for Him. And we are truly grateful and thankful to have been a part of this gathering. Now unto Him who is able to keep you from stumbling, and to present you faultless before the presence of His glory with exceeding joy, to the only wise God our Savior, be glory, majesty, dominion, and power, both now and forevermore. Let every heart say, Amen. Amen. God bless you.
got some cards on you? You have to call them and check it. You have to call them. It might be ready Monday. Okay? DVD? DVD, yeah. I mean, you just call Chris. Chris Robertson Gonzalez. That's who I called for. I'm about to take it.